As I told you, what this is proving as somewhat a fertile ground. That is, say, for example, the mythology, the field of mythology is fertile. So naturally, as she has suggested for the scope for further research, there are so many less studied, unexplored areas and characters. Say, for example, there are many characters. Mahabharata, say, for example, that is the longest or lengthiest epic written in any language for that matter in the world. Not only that, it is somewhat maybe subjective, but I hope you will agree. It is more complex even compared to Ramayana. There are so many characters, so many subplots, so many characters. Example say there are so many princes, so many demons, then so many less studied kings. Okay, for example, say there is one fellow called Bhagadatta. There is who is famous for his elephant battle. Example, say for example, I think full-length novel or something. It has not been written about him. His son or grandson is our Nargasura, because Deepavali is fast approaching. The thing is, say for example, though I am somewhat slightly deviating it, I will come back again. Say for example, this is India means. The Kurukshetra war, it was fought as a pan-Indian war. Say for example, soldiers from all directions, all corners of India, they are assembled in Kurukshetra or the modern Panipat to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Say for example, I was in Assam for 300 years. Say for example, that King Bhagadatta originally hails from Assam. Assam is noted for its elephants, lot of elephants. Okay, so he had going naturally an elephant army. So he assembled his elephant army and he brought them all the way to Kurukshetra. Something like in the Roman history says that is the great Carthaginian general Hannibal. There was one great fellow. That is, he brought his elephant army and crossed the Alps mountains and brought them to Italy. Near somewhat very nearly impossible for anyone to do. Even say for example, if you search in Wikipedia Hannibal, the picture will be there. That is the elephants crossing Alps. Just imagine elephants crossing our Himalayas, something like that. Say what I wanted to hit was there are so many less studied characters. Even these less studied characters, whether it is man or woman, they all have their heroic moments. They have their own importance, which is, that is, say for example, to be tackled by, to be articulated by creative writers, maybe in future books. So that is the scope, quite naturally, what a work of epic proportion it offers. Okay, coming back, say for example, that is the chapters, all that is very well planned and executed. Say for example, she has chosen 7 novels she has written, Kavita Kane, 3 novels have been chosen by Josephine Sneha. Say for example, Uruvi, Karna's The Outcast Queen, and similarly Urmila's story. And another one, Ahalya's Awakening. That is 3 novels. That is many of these heroines have been less studied or wronged or less understood. So that is why, say for example, from feminist point of view, and another beautiful thing also, she made the classification. There are 2 possibilities offered by feminism. Radical feminism advocates the act of demolition, but on the other hand, we are Indians. Our own version of feminism. Say for example, let us try to improve ourselves, self-realize our goals and aspirations, expectations, whatever it may be, without damaging the concept of family. Or something like that. That is, we have a kind of compromise, healthy compromise the Indian feminism makes. Okay, so these 2 possibilities also she has entered, and she has rightly pointed out Kane what has chosen the second point of view, what in telling her, retelling her story and portraying her characters. Portraying the leading characters. Okay, and all the protagonists they have been portrayed as women with a lot of potential, women with leaderly qualities. That is administrators and scholars, and of course we know that is even speaking of the Tamil scenario, we have our own the Sangam poets, Tamil poets, many Tamil poets, and not only aware, etc., etc. Intellectuals. What I mean is Tamil intellectuals, women intellectuals. Okay, in the good old days. And similarly in North India, what you will come across names like Maitreyi, then many of these characters, Lopamutra, etc., female intellectuals. That is who match wits with their male counterparts in debates, discussions, etc. Okay. Say for example, Urmila is an administrator, and similarly Ahalya, that is, say for example, she had her own ashram, and she was also an intellectual with an insatiable thirst for intellectual accomplishments. And similarly, Urubi also, that is, she champions the cause of her husband, wronged husband, who is not given proper respect and recognition by the society, which simply treats him as a son of a charioteer. Okay, so these ladies, they try to self-actualize themselves, try to contribute for the welfare of the society, try to contribute to the they try to guard the honor of their kith and kin, as in the case of Karna, something like that. So all these things have been beautifully written in the thesis, and she has explained all these things, the same things. And chapter 2, from the subaltern point of view, she quoted about the term, that is, it was coined by Antonio Gramsci, that an Italian Marxist in his present days, in his present diaries, present notebooks. Okay, and Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, she questioned means only to motivate us, not skeptically, that is, can the subaltern speak? Because already they are totally demoralized in every sense. How can they speak out? Where is their voice? Something like that. That is again, that is, she has explained that is definitely it is possible. For example, here these women, they form a part of subaltern. Usually, there is a subaltern. Spivak also says one thing, my dear friends. There are so many. We all are affected in one way or other way. We all are affected in one way or other way. But all of us are not subaltern. According to Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, those who are somewhat acutely, deeply affected, maybe socially or economically, something like that, but still we all are the affected parties. So from by her own way, Urmila has done things. From her own way, Urubi has done her part. From her own way, Ahalya has tried to raise her level. So all these things have been well explained. The examiners, those who have evaluated the thesis, they have posed a few questions to be answered by, to be clarified by the scholar. Okay. Could you please give examples for Kavita Kane's usage of this is to do with the techniques, literary techniques such as Bildungsroman and the pathetic fallacy in their books.
Yes, sir. So the term Bildungsroman denotes the formative years of the protagonist. So any novel based on the formative years of the protagonist, this technique is called as Bildungsroman. So all the novels of Kavita Kane, we see that all of them begin their journey as a naive women. And from that they navigate to become a new woman. So almost all the novels focuses on the technique of Bildungsroman. So they eventually begin as someone meek, gentle, not sure how everything works, but eventually they turn into a empowered women. We are traveling along with them throughout their journey. Next one is pathetic fallacy. So pathetic fallacy is the technique of attributing human emotions to inanimate objects, nature, animals, etc. So one example will be in Karna's wife, in the introduction of Karna. So when Karna is about to display his archery skills, so he is entering the arena. So at the time you see only that description. After that Kanye says that the sun actually rises above his head. So it's almost like a cinematic experience. So the sun rises above his head and shines so brightly. So this is one thing. The second thing is that when everybody understands that Karna belongs to a lower community or the marginalized section, they are put into shame. So Karna is feeling ashamed, so he bends down his head. So at that time, remember the sun that shines brightly, it actually covers itself. So the dark clouds cover the sun and it's almost like getting dark. The writer says it might rain. Immediately Karna is given the description so Karna looks above, we see that his eyes are filled with tears. So the dark cloud, the rain, the tears. So that is what is called as pathetic fallacy.
Okay, thank you. My dear friends, you will come across this is one of a prominent poetic technique also in many of our poems. In I think Tamil, they probably call this as a Tan Kuripu Etrani. Tan Kuripu Etrani. Say for example, the writer adds some more meaning connotations to a natural happening of, say for example, sunshine or the showering of rain, etc. Okay. Anyway, this is a popular literary technique. You see, say there are quite a few writers. Ours is a big country with many writers. Many writers have adopted mythological themes. In what way Kavita Kane is unique from other Indian writers who write on mythological themes, mythical themes?
Well, of course, as stated by Susan Sellers, when feminist rewriting happens, there will be only two categories. One is act of demolition, another one is act of construction. So here Kane focuses on the second thing. There are writers like Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, Anuja Chandramouli. They go for the first thing. So when they are making their protagonists speak, be it Draupadi or Sita, they are very much directly attacking the heroes of the epic. They are very violent. Their way of rebelling is very violent. But here we see that, of course, Kane's heroines, of course, they are like suppressed, oppressed. They also face their tough times. But everything is done in a way where the focus is on their self. So their entire self, how they are uplifting themselves and another thing. And the next one is Kane focuses on mental health. The real contemporary issue is the lack of mental health awareness. So Kane uses the mythical characters and talk about the importance of mental health, which no other writers has done so far.
Okay. Just these are general questions. Do we have modern Tamil writers? That is because we are directly or vicariously, we are students of Tamil literature also. Okay. Do you have Tamil writers who have attempted to rewrite the epics?
Yes, sir. One such writer is Dr. Shubha. So she has written a rewriting based on Mahabharata. So the Tamil version is Ramayana, Dhairiyathudan Garjikavum, and it's also translated in English, Roar with Courage. So she is one writer, and another one is in 2022, a novel called Ahalya was published, where the entire focus of Ramayana is given through Ahalya's point of view. It is by Vidya.
Yeah. Okay. Again, okay. Can you come and say, for example, that is, I think even myself told, I think, what work of famous writer Jay Mohan, retelling of Mahabharata, when was, could you please comment on the work?
Yes, even Jay Mohan has actually...
Just out of interest, just let me tell. I think a week back or something like that, you had 10 days or 2 weeks old book festival in Coimbatore. Probably, I think, Coimbatore, he wrote something like that. He was part of that. And I think, okay. And you know, he is one of there are many important writers like S. Ramakrishnan and others, say for example, and many of their works are getting translated also into different languages, and which is another fertile area for aspiring researchers. Okay, writers like S. Ramakrishnan, writers like Jay Mohan, and what they are, say for example, voluminous also, and what they address so many issues, something like that. Yes, and you know, there is I haven't read it, I have to confess, Vendors also, and similarly Vishnu Puram, just I am debating, I will come back. Vishnu Puram is one of the important novel that is published recently in the Tamil literary scenario. That is, say for example, it generated lots of creative discussion by the same author.
So Jay Mohan's very also, of course, I have heard it. He is also another writer who has written a retelling. So Jay Mohan's work is indeed an ambitious project because the original version of Mahabharata comprises of many verses. So the original version is written in epic format, but he has translated or he has re-narrated it in a novelistic form. So there were a lot of changes, there were a lot of tough things undergoing, but he was very ambitious and he has successfully completed it. And it was also pitched as one of the best work because no other Tamil writer has given a full-length translation or re-narration of the epic.
Okay. Just out of interest, let me tell, say for example, quite a few Tamil writers, different aspects of different events, characters, they have been articulated in their stories and etc. Say for example, Karna, Theoroti Mahan, there was one famous writer called B.S. Ramaya, Manipuri, that is, say for example, a popular literary journal, he was a founder and he has written this. And similarly, a famous short story by Pudhumai Pittan, Sava Vimochanam, involved Agadhya's story. Okay, that is of course his point of view. That I am telling these things. And See, okay, one more question. How are the heroines of Kavita Kane aware of their duties and responsibilities towards their family and the kingdom? This is based on, say for example, you can refer to your page number 22 of your, feel free please, 22 of your thesis. Based on some line written by you, the question has been asked.
Can I take the question again, sir?
Yes?
Question again, sir.
Yes. How are the heroines of Kavita Kane aware of their duties and responsibilities towards their family and kingdom?
So the heroines of Kavita Kane, they are Indo-centric feminists. So they are aware of their duties towards their family, of course. Just because they are well-read, they are educated, they do not dispose their domestic duties. They are, of course, happy wives, mothers, some of them. And only when the relationship gets toxic, they do not hesitate to break it. But apart from that, they are very much interested in their personal and professional life. Not only that, they are coming from a community of a royalist. So, of course, they have certain responsibilities towards their kingdom. So we see Urvi giving free healthcare to the marginalized, and then like Urmila giving she actually makes sure that all the people in the community gets education or professional or vocational training. Then Ahalya also starts an ashram for the underprivileged students. So these are their responsibilities towards their kingdom.
Again from finally simple question, like page 55, a statement I think, Urvi was confident that Karna was not the wrong man. Karna was not the wrong man, the wronged man. Justify or explain.
Okay, so this quote is directly taken from the novel. So yes, this actually happens when Urvi is convincing her parents that Karna is not the wrong man. Karna is not the wrong man, but the wronged man. Of course, it's very evident because Karna, just like any other human, he wants to have education, he wants to learn hunting, all the other things which people does, but it is denied purely because of this caste and class difference. And it doesn't stop there. Even after Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana actually crowning him as the king, he is not allowed to live in the palace. A king is supposed to live in the palace, but he is not allowed to live in the palace. Instead, he should stay with the marginalized people there only. So this is, even though he is crowned, this is once again an act of outright putting him into shame only. So we can, all these things we see that he is definitely not a wrong man, but a wronged man by the society.
Again, sorry for a kind of interruption. He is not, even though after becoming a king, he is not allowed to live in palace. According to Kavita Kane. Whether the original Mahabharata says anything like that?
No, sir, there is no mentioning about that.
There is a, say for example, he is being not allowed to live in a palace. How is it possible? Say for a king not being allowed to live in a palace. I think probably this is Kavita Kane's version. I was about to ask one ultimate question. Okay, let me ask this question and I will come back. Okay, how does the following quotation fit to the modern world woman? Again, page 124. If you can run your home, there is a controversial in terms of feminism. Say for example, if you can run your home well, you can conquer the world.
Yes, sir. So it is also once again a direct quotation from the book, which says that if you can run.
Who says this?
This quotation is mentioned by Urmila's mother, because she knows that Urmila is very ambitious. She wants to study. She doesn't want to get married immediately. She wants to pursue higher education. From childhood, she wants to become like a father to get acknowledged as a scholar. Her mother knows it's not possible. But at the same time, just because Urmila is spending all the time outside, she does not like disperse her duties at home. Just like every other princess, she learns singing, dancing, cooking, cleaning, all the things. And also for a while, we see that Urmila was in the palace taking care of the house. This itself gives her the courage, because we say that home is nothing but a miniature of the outside world. All the managerial skills, administrative tasks, she learns it everywhere. She meets different people in the palace. So since she is very good in running everything at home, it makes it easier, or at least gives an ounce of courage to face even the administrative tasks outside. So this is why she actually states this line, sir.
Okay. What about the male characters of all these three novels?
Of course.
There is how they have been, there is a portrait. What is the vision of Kavita Kane on love? Whether say for example, all of them are found as somewhat closer to home to the nuns, are not interested in what the women's welfare or something.
Well, of course, unlike the other authors, she's not villainizing them, but instead shows them with the shades of grey. We see Karna being very supportive of Urvi's profession because he knows what it is to be suppressed. So he's very supportive. And also Urmila's husband, of course, he's an absent partner there, so we do not see much of them. But when he returns from the exile, he also thanks, even Lord Ram, he also thanks Urmila that she has taken care of everything so well, and she's actually a very trustworthy person. So we see that all of the male characters who are major characters in the epic, they are very supportive of the heroine.
Well, say for example, for all these incidents and other things, have been hinted anywhere that is in the different versions of Ramayana and Mahabharata, or these are purely the creation of the author, this kind of interpretation? Say for example, Urmila being a very good administrator. What I am asking is, there are different versions of Ramayana, different versions of Mahabharata. According to Chitra Ramayana, Sita is the daughter of Ravana. Sita is the daughter of Ravana. There are different versions, even in mythologies. Say for you were speaking about the great abilities of, say for example, Urmila, and similarly the intellectual nature of Ahalya. Whether all these details are available in any versions of Ramayana Mahabharata or purely ambitious, imaginative creation of Kavita interpretation.
We find certain references from writers. For example, Tagore, while he talks about Urmila in his poetry called Upanishad, he says that Urmila is actually found reading. Even though she's studying tears, she's found reading. So probably from these versions, Kani understood she must be a well-read person compared to her other sisters because there is no description about it.
Again, whether she, any of her interviews or something like that, whether she hints about any of the sources which motivated Proctor her to write these things. Or simply Ramayana Mahabharata.
No, she actually mentions Rajagopala.
Say I was influenced by so-and-so.
Yeah, she says that she was, while she was young, her mother used to tell the tale of Rajagopalachari's version. He's a Tamil writer, of course. So his version she actually liked the most. And he himself, of course, not very modernized, but it was a bit away from the stereotypical narration. So she was impressed with that, and reading other works of Tagore and other writers, she got also impressed and started her own version.
Thank you. Well, my dear friends, now the session is open to you. I request my colleagues and the students and scholars, you can pose questions, you can make your observations. What are regarding the research of Madam Josephine Sneha?
I agree with all your topics, but I had a doubt in your chapter 4, which was you had titled Awakening the Hero Within. Why you had chosen the word hero instead of heroine in that title?
Okay, so the awakening the hero within is actually a phrase given by a philosopher. He's none other but Susan Sellers. So she's a philosopher. So she says that since everybody, all the feminist terms, they actually wanted to become the main character, the prominent character or the centrifugal character, she gives the phrase as awakening the hero within. So that is where I got the title. So that is the reason. Because most of the time the word heroine means someone who's under or subverted towards the hero. So which is why we are saying awakening the hero within. And another reason is Ahalya actually looks forward for a hero figure, right? So she longs for her father's love, brothers, or all the heroes. She understands it is within herself. That is also the reason why I kept as hero.
Nobody is free from blemish or potential. So that's why nowadays only protagonists or something like that. We all have our own moments of lapses, and we have our moments of heroism also.
Good presentation, Josephine.
Thank you.
All the protagonists in these 3 novels, you have said that they achieve that self-actualization, and they are useful to in upliftment of the suppressed in the society. Is this there in all the other novels that you have not chosen? Does this follow the same thing? Can you give an example of a novel that you have not chosen?
Yes, ma'am. In Saraswati's gift, of course, we feel the same because Saraswati, even though she is she's a goddess, she once again wants to learn so much and everything. But all the gods and goddesses wants her to get married. So even after getting married, she pursues her education. So she shows how it can be handled, both the personal and professional life. So that is what we see. So that is one example. But the other novels, we do not see the protagonist being educated. that is in Fisher Queen dynasty, Lanka's choice, Menaka's. In that all, we will not see the protagonists being educated, but of course they are also coming from hailing from a princess community, and they rose or moved to the position of ruling people, but we do not see them to be educated. They are more like demonized characters.
Instructs the scholars to ask questions.
As I told you, the other novels as demonized and dismissed character. So through them I cannot prove this fact, so that is why.
Congratulations, sister. Very good presentation. I am so happy and proud to have you. We are so happy and proud to have you as our first PhD scholar of Department of English podcast. Very good presentation. My question is, there are more researches coming for feminism and female subjugation, talking about the oppression and everything in different perspectives. What is your unique contribution as a researcher, and also as research, what is that contribution you have done in the Josephine Viva study, which the other researchers have failed to do? Please talk about your research gap.
Okay, speaking of the research gap, I found almost all the studies, the research articles, they focused only on feminism, especially like Western feminism. They spoke about sex-positive feminism, radical feminism, and so on. Which is why I made sure that my thesis should be based on Indo-centric feminism, where they are actually pursuing their passion, same time they are not refuting the relationships. So that is the only difference. And also the theory of liminality. Theory of liminality is less explored. So I actually used it for the one chapter. So these are the differences.
I also have another question. Like the characters you've chosen, like Urvi and Akila. Akila. So Akalya. So they, before marriage, they were so independent, according to the novel, and the writer tells you they were so independent. They were so intellectual also. They contributed so much for the community. But after getting married, in case of Urvi, okay, they were like female. She was subjugated. She was oppressed in terms of gender. As well as the character Akalya, after marriage she faces so much of struggle from her husband. So, what do you think? Like marriage? Do you think marriage itself is a like traditional embedded with all kinds of subjugation, or what is your point on that?
Okay, so since we are talking about the epics, there are of course certain things, because life itself is made up of different kinds of people. So they get different opinions, criticism from other people. Same happens for the protagonist. So Uri gets a supportive partner, whereas Ahaya doesn't get a supportive partner, but filled with red flags. But all it matters is how they handle it. When it gets toxic, of course Ahaya doesn't hesitate to break the marriage. But then the author is not supportive of that kind of feminism, which is why we see Urvi balancing it, Urmila balancing it, Saraswati balancing it. So that is how I think marriage is made up of, or that's how marriage works.
And I also have a personal question. Like, after this different waves of feminism, we are in, the fourth wave, maybe after fourth wave of feminism. Now, why do you think there's a room for discussion of this or the female subjugation topic that still exists even after 4 waves of feminism? What is that lacking for female empowerment?
Well, I think as he stated, as Sir stated, there will always going to be some kind of subjugation on other. So after 4 waves of feminism, we something have coffee shop feminism, where actually people of privilege or upper class talks about it. They talk about the issues faced in the office, but whereas in the first, second wave we do not see. Then we have something called now digital feminism. So the harassment women faces in the online community. So it keeps on going because the problems also arises. But that doesn't should stop them. Instead they have to keep on going, and we need to provide practical or enabling alternatives so women can actually get exposed to that, aware of it, and then they can lead a happy life. Thank you.
From the you have taken study arts and privileged class, and I would like some examples from the unprivileged class who make their voices heard in the patriarchal society.
In the novel. Okay. So the first question he actually asked It is about why I actually took the area of study or novels. So the reason is I'm very much interested in mythology. Since my PG days, I've actually opted for it. In my MPhil times itself, I chose Kavita Kane, but there was not at all enough secondary sources. Only like 3 to 4 articles were available. So I opted for Chitra Banerjee. This is why I was able to compare and contrast while reading the novels of Kane. So Chitra Banerjee's voice was like really violent. She wants to like attack the male community, especially the male characters who are given prominence in the epic. But whereas Kanye, she focuses on giving the enabling alternatives, the solutions. So she was not only focused on revealing everything, but was focused on giving the solution. Next one is I actually like wanted to definitely pursue on feminism. But then, as I told you, when I was reading all the research articles that existed prior, while doing my PhD, I found handful. So while going through it, everything was based on feminism. So I wanted to go for something different. That is how I found the things happening between Karna and Ruby. I found it to be relevant to subaltern theory. But then when we apply subaltern theory to the place where I applied feminism, it wouldn't suit. Because Urmila is still the queen and she also rules. So we cannot apply subaltern theory, which is why I gave 3 different theories. Then the second question is, as Sir stated, that the quote was actually controversy or contrary to the Western feminism, so needs some clarification. Yes, of course. We are not throwing dirt upon Western feminism, because without that starting as a political movement, we won't be here having it as a social movement. Of course, we actually acknowledge them, but the thing is that culturally we are different here. We give importance to relationship, family here, but so at the same time we cannot avoid it, at the same time we cannot embrace it fully. So we are taking what suits for each other. So it differs from people to people, so it suits differently. So that is why here Urmila's mother states that if you run your home well, you will obviously be running the kingdom. For our instance, we can say that if we run our home well, or if our home is like balanced, then we can go to a job, do a job, get credit and come back. So that is what is different. There it is the kingdom. For here, it is our job, profession or passion. So the third question is,
I would like some examples from the underprivileged class who made their voices.
okay, so of course in Karna's wife we see the voice of Karna. So Karna is like, of course as I showed you, he's like thoroughly underprivileged, under-marginalized right from beginning till the end. And of course we see that him telling all the stress he goes through. As I told you, Kanye focuses on mental health issues. So everybody talks about Karna being subjugated, put to shame. But here we talk about Karna voicing it out effectively. He says how much stressed he is because he longs for social acceptance. So if one person or any individual longs for social acceptance, they started doing things so that they can get the acknowledgement of others. This itself creates a stress. So everything he actually voices out. So that itself is the best example of underprivileged voice in the novel of Kavita.
Underprivileged women.
Underprivileged women. Okay, so there is another character called Mandavi. So she is actually from the underprivileged community and she is living in the outskirts. So when there is a war happening and her husband has died, so we see that she is the person who instills the idea that when everything happens in the palace, everything is in celebration mode. But when it happens in the community, in the outskirts, there is nothing glorified about war. Instead, they are crying, wailing, bloodshed, and these wives were not even allowed to look at their husbands because their body will lie the same way in the battlefield. They were not allowed to give even the proper burial rites. So she voices out all these, which gives the heroine the idea that we have to change the situation only through education and also proper healthcare access.
Thank you.
Thanks. So the half focus is on the heroines of Kavita Kane. So Kavita Kane's heroines is where we are limelight is. So Mandavi is a one specific character, so she's seen only in one scene. Of course, the heroines interact with many other characters where they gain life lessons. So which is why my focus is on the heroines. So I am concentrating only on the outputs they bring or the solutions they bring forward. The second one is, if this is suitable only for the upper privileged or the class, not for the underprivileged. Of course, as stated earlier, the voices which are exposed here, they themselves were not given the voice in the epics. There were other people speaking. Only now the writers are conscious of this portrayal and they are giving voice to these lesser known characters. And speaking of the underprivileged, there are separate novels written based on Karna's perspective. He is a marginalized man who who actually talks his opinion. So the thing here the writer wants to focus is, since they are from the upper class community, they have access to education, they are bringing change. So Kanye wants to show that education is the tool, which is why all the heroines are focused on getting educated, and not only that, they want to bring this source of education to the underprivileged people as well. So Urmila does it when she is ruling the palace. So she appoints 2 courtiers. She wants them to discuss about women's problem. So she goes to the society. She says that women should be given educational, professional or vocational training. But in Ahalya's case is different because she's not returning to the palace. Instead, she starts her own ashram. So starts ashram among the underprivileged students and she starts teaching it. So the aim is to give education to all, irrespective of them being elite or non-elite. Everyone should have access to education. If education itself is given, I think they will have the power to change everything for themselves. And while doing that, they can also take other people as well. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
In the first chapter, you spoke about Urvi, where she chose to marry her husband, and at the ending, she wanted some social recognition. Okay. My question is, she should have felt complete when she married the person she loved. Okay. And did she use helping others as a plot in order to be socially recognized?
Actually, this social recognition takes place in the middle after getting married to Karna, because Karna already was marginalized. He wants people to be respected. So even there are research articles which states that when someone is marginalized or sidelined, they long for social recognition. They want to show themselves forward. So this is not as a part of showing up, but to live a decent life, some kind of recognition or appreciation. So Urvi, when she gets married, now understands the plight of Karna. So she is sidelined, so she also wants social recognition. So both of them want social recognition. So they try to interact with the people of upper class. Since Urvi finds to be mentally stressful, she decides to use her time productively by mingling with the marginal class and helps for their upliftment.
Because people who are really into a work, it doesn't need any kind of recognition because they do everything with full-hearted. So all of a sudden she goes over there and she finds some kind of social recognition, maybe to think whether she did it to showing off, just use Adobe, use Instagram to just show herself. Is it like that, or just to retain to live as a decent human, like what you said?
Yeah, she actually longs for social recognition that both the sides she is avoided, even her in-laws and the people in the palace. So she wants them to accept them, that is it. But when she realizes it's not happening, she is away from it. She breaks the matrix, but Karna doesn't. So that is the only difference. Thank you.
First of all, my question is, which character you like these 3 novels, and which character is impressed you?
I would say Ahalya. Ahalya from the Ahalya's Awakening. So she impressed me the most because apart from others, she goes through a lot of liminal phases and overcomes it bravely and emerges as a new woman.
Good afternoon. So my question is, do you think today's society is androcentric? If yes, what would be your ideas or suggestions to decenter the androcentric? And if no, how do you say that today's society is not androcentric?
I wouldn't label the entire society as androcentric or gynocentric because we are all mixed people here. People have different opinions. Every place has its own protocol and its own rules and regulations. So we cannot entirely blame it to be that. But of course, there might be instances of patriarchal stuff. Even women uphold the patriarchal stuffs and everything. So I would say entirely label it. So this is happening. But when we get educated, not just bookish knowledge, but facing the problem, just because like I feel like it's androcentric, I cannot stay away. I have to live with the crowd. I have to live with the people. So mingling with them, facing the problem, getting solutions for the problem, getting exposed to the outside world, the problem, I think that itself is more than enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, ma'am.
Thank you.
That was a very informative presentation. And my question is something personal. After all, you said liminality theory. And what are the post-liminal aspects that today's women can hold? like a powerful post-liminal state apart from just healing mentally and empowering socially? What all the intense post-liminal state women can hold?
Well, a practical post-liminal stage would be as Arnold Van Gennep states, they can actually incorporate themselves. So if they are feeling like mentally stressed or anything or face this discomfort, they are coming away for a particular period of time. That doesn't mean like they have to exclude themselves from the society forever, because Ahalya had different reasons. Not everyone should be done, it's not advocated. So once again, they can incorporate themselves to the society or the place and they can manage it. Once we actually heal, that itself is the greatest cure. So we would actually, once our mind is clear, we will know what to do next, and with enough experience, I think they will be able to manage it. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Congratulations, ma'am. So, Kavita Karnay, she has given voice to the voiceless characters in the epic, ma'am. So, according to you, which quality in this unnoticed characters made them as a protagonist in the book of Kavita Karnay?
Okay, as stated earlier, Divakaruni, Volga and a lot of other female writers, they focused on Draupadi and Sita. They gave modernized version. So it's like already being told and retold. So Kanye wants to choose other characters. So we see from the title itself Karna's wife. So nobody knows her. We all are familiar with Karna because enough writers have spoken about Karna, but we do not know them. Then we have this in her novel.
Thank you, ma'am. And what are the main findings of your research and how do they relate to the hypothesis, ma'am?
Well, I think my thesis has actually successfully reclaimed all the lost voices. So those who were voiceless in the original epics, so their voices are reclaimed. So whatever pain, agony, suffering, agitation they went through, it is reflected in the contemporary society, and it is also evident with the questions they have asked. So it is still prevalent. So the practical solution is also given, an enabling alternative to choose education and their professional life first.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. You have presented a great thing.
Thank you, sir.
And it is a beautiful thing that you have got the confidence as your jewel. That's a great thing. And a few things about, like, you were talking about Agalia's liminal phases. So, according to William Shakespeare, he quotes that expectation is the root of all the, headaches. Expectation is the root of all the headaches. So, do you mean to think that expectation has got some impression over Agalia's life for all the liminal phases that she has been through? If expectation was one of those, so is it because of the personal expectation or it is because of the social expectation? So that is one thing. So what was the reason for Agalia's liminal phases?
Yes, as he stated, yes, of course, expectation is the main reason, because initially when she is as a cloistered princess in the palace, she expects her father figure to save her, but he's an absent parent. Same goes for her brother, she thinks he will actually save her. But all of them are very, very selfish-minded, and not just blaming them, they have their own life or things to take care of. So they are in their own world. So of course she expects someone externally will save her instead of depending on herself. So this is one main reason for her to go through all the liminal phases. And also Victor Turner says these are common liminal phases, phases where everybody goes through. Getting a new, in the modern sense, getting a new job could be a liminal phase, because not everyone get accustomed to it immediately. Starting a new course is a liminal phase, but eventually, of course, we have expectations. That is how we enter a new course or job. But eventually, we get accustomed to it and we start moving along with it.
Okay, thank you. So you could have said that the personal expectation and the social expectation was being part of it for a liminal.
Yes, sir.
And what about, in addition to what John was asking about, relating to marriage? So, before marriage, it seems to be that they are so many individual and so very independent and so on. And after that, so marriage here is considered to be marriage. So, marriage. So, likewise, what I went to ask, clarification is that. So, what about love on those days and love in these days? So it is true that the love is blind, but the lovers are not blind. So was it the muscularity, or was it the face value, or was it the intelligence, or what was the capturing point of love there compared to these present ages?
like it differs for each protagonist. For Ahalya, of course, she actually fell in love with Gautam because of the intellectual factor, of course, and he also promises the same, which he obviously doesn't deliver. But for the other heroines, they purely go for love because they have a very supportive partners. Eventually, that is also getting reflected even after marriage. So it was based on the supportive values, sir. Thank you, sir.
All the men are supportive in arms. Then who suppresses the female characters?
Well, this is the case for the princess in the palace. They are supportive because Karna himself was marginalized, so he is supportive. But Purvi was oppressed by her father-in-law, her brother-in-law, who does not want her to go outside in terms of gender criteria. But whereas the royalist where she belongs, they actually suppress her in terms of caste and class differences. Since she gets married to Karna, she is an outcast. So these are the things, sir. The patriarchal society is suppressing, sir. Yes, sir, she's married happily. Well, she actually maintains a very private life. So, through her social media, she only pitches about her books, novels, her discussions alone. That too after COVID situation. And the last post that I remember was in 2021 after the publication of Saraswati's sister. She said someone in her family, she lost them in COVID. After that, she has been very less active only, sir.
But of course, even her family details are available in Wikipedia. Say for example, I think her husband is a mariner. She has 2 children. And there is a mentioning of her pet dog and pet cat also. in Wikipedia.
Say for example.
Our friend pointed out regarding subalternity. Say for example, she concentrates more on, say for example, some of the leading characters of the privileged class or something. Maybe that may be true. But say for example, every character remains for somebody to write about them or to exploit them fully. Say for that matter, I can even give you an example from Mahabharata. You know the episode of the touching of what we call in Tamil, Arakamalige. If you remember, I think the Pandavas before exile, say for example, they visit Hastinapura probably. See, they remain in a place. So the palace has been built in such a way that it could be easily touched. So Duryodhana hatches a conspiracy. In the same palace, a real subaltern family also, it lives. Let me put it simply, say for example, the Pandavas escape when it is touched, but the subaltern family perishes. Say for example, the Protagonists make no efforts in saving the subaltern family. So, say for example, in epic, say there is one side mythological characters, etc., etc. But it has its own stark social side also to it. Say for example, one section, say for example, they want to escape at the mercy of or victimizing another section of human beings. Say for example, other people in the line. So probably this episode may capture the attention of some creative writer, or already would have caught the attention of somebody who would have written some art, some poetry or a play or something like that, from the subaltern point of view. So there are different aspects. Say for example, a writer can do justice to one or two issues only when he or she sit to write a novel or a play or something like that. That is, all issues could not be addressed in a single work. All characters could not be brought to justice or could be explained in an elaborate level. Every character, say for example, Gandhari character, say for example, Mahabharata, it requires a separate book. Shakuni, you can read many books. He has a different side. We have only his popular side as somewhat a crooked, but skillful player of dice, that only we know. But actually he was the crown prince of modern Afghanistan, Kabul or something like that. Gandhara means modern Afghanistan, something. He has his other side. Gandhari has his other side. And what about the voice of Dhritarashtra? Okay, so there are many more books that is in pipeline of these writers, those who write on mythological themes. Okay. Well, any more questions?
My question is to you as four female voices in the selected novel of Kavita Kani. Today morning I have just seen the title. I just thought we are going to see the topic how the female are suppressed in the society. I just thought why the female always to be suppressed, or how they can be socially recognized in the society. So my question in chapter 1, I think so, will tell about the Urvi, who is a physician, I think so. Urvi, I think so, I'm not sure.
She marries Karna and then she becomes a
suburb. She did so many things to be socially recognized in the chapter. How in present days, how the women can be socially recognized themselves, your views how the women can be socially recognized, in which ways? In present time, I'm asking.
I would say like education itself gets us recognized, and people should not long for social recognition. So that is what through character Uri we see. Because Karna actually longs for social recognition, he doesn't break the matrix, instead he dies in the battlefield. The person who actually breaks it only starts working as the other person asked the question. So she breaks it, and only after that she works for the welfare of the other people. So naturally social recognition happens.
Okay, and another question. Throughout the novel, we are focusing on the female characters. What are your views on the male characters in the particular three novels?
Well, in the first two novels, of course, they are very supportive. So since, as Sir told already, so enough novels are being written about Karna, Arjuna and so on. There are other perspectives. Since the limelight falls on these lesser known characters or sideline characters, they are given importance. The other characters are touched here and there. They seem to be very supportive, but there are other people who oppress and suppress them, not just male community, the entire society suppress and oppress them.
Your presentation was very good, and we are getting to find so many things in this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Friends, any more questions, observations? Yes.
How far the writer recentering the androcentric is appropriate to chapter 2, Sita's sister?
Well, the word decentering means displacement. The androcentric means the male characters. Of course, in the original epic, the male characters Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, they are given importance. Whereas in the novel, they are introduced. We see them for a few or more pages. So then after a while, we might be thinking they might be performing heroic tasks, but instead they are displaced or decentered. Whereas the person who did not even find the platform to speak, they are giving a center position to voice out, and not only to voice out, but prove themselves as an Indian feminist. So it's appropriate title.
My dear friends, one last time, any questions, observations? Thank you. Well, my dear friends, what are the three examiners? Those who have evaluated the thesis of Josephine Sneha, they have what graded it as highly commended. Highly commended. They have appreciated the near somewhat the novelty regarding the topic chosen, and the chapters have been well argued with the help of the secondary sources. I am one of the three examiners, of course. You know, there is. I enjoyed going through the entire thesis. On the basis of the reports received received from the three examiners, and on the basis of the presentation made by the candidate. In the presentation, what she made an effective presentation, she was able to answer to all our queries, whatever questions were posed, what she was able to clarify them to the satisfaction of this august audience. When I say this, I am sure you will agree. Well, on the basis of these things, I recommend Madam Josephine Sneha for her PhD degree to the syndicate of Bharatiya University. I congratulate Dr. Josephine Sneha. And again, my congratulations goes to the guide also, Dr. Arun Shailaja, and of course to the department, because Josephine happens to be the first successful candidate of the department who got PhD degree. Okay, my congratulations to department, HOD madam, and again my thanks to what the guide and Bharatiya University for giving me this opportunity to be here, to act as an external examiner, to conduct the Viva examination, and the best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Gratitude is the key to manifest abundance, says Abraham Hicks. Yes, I would like to first and foremost thank the Lord Almighty and my parents, because without their love, support and blessings, I don't think I would be exploring the unexplored female voices here. So thank you so much. Next, I would like to thank the external examiner, Dr. S. Ganeshan sir, Associate Professor, Department of English, the H.S. Rajas College, Pudukkottai, for his valuable comments and this illuminating experience and session. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to thank the foreign examiner for evaluating my thesis and sending the report back in time. And also, I would like to remember my DC member, Dr. Ruby Christie ma'am, Chitena College, for her scholarly inputs, which actually helped me throughout this research journey. So, thank you so much, ma'am. And next, I would like to thank the Secretary, Reverend L. David Barnabas sir, and Principal Dr. Jemima Winston ma'am, for allowing me to pursue this PhD program in this college. And also I would like to thank our HOD ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Esther Margaret, for her constant appreciation and approval at times, and she was also more than gracious enough to give me suggestions at then and now. And next, most importantly, I would like to thank my PhD supervisor, Dr. E. Aroke Shailaja ma'am, because of her follow-ups, her inputs, her suggestion, her comments, I was able to complete this PhD within the stipulated time, submitted and so on, for which I am grateful forever, ma'am. Thank you so much. And without saying it goes, I am thankful to the entire Department of English, right from Dr. Franklin sir, Dr. Arun sir, Dr. Joshua sir, then my UG tutor and the sweetest Steffi Evangeline ma'am, then Stella ma'am, Sushma ma'am, Nitya Kumari ma'am, Joy ma'am, Joyce ma'am, Pratap sir. So thank you so much sir for always being approachable and for being super friendly. Thank you so much all. Next, I would like to thank the fellow PhD scholars, especially Larisha, for being friendly, because she made my PhD journey actually a bit easier. Then I would like to thank, when most of the support comes in waves, yours has been unwavering. So thank you so much, Anto, for doing all the behind the scenes work for this PhD. And also I would like to thank my friends, Priya, Rachel, Felsi, Banu, once again Larisha as well, because of course, as told earlier, they made my PhD journey a bit easier. Then I would also like to thank the librarians, various faculties from other departments for their support. Last but not least, I would also like to thank all the UG, PG, MPhil and PhD scholars of this department. And once again, I would like to thank you all for being a part of this memorable day. Thank you all.